Hey guys, this is Vijay here. So this is going to make a quick guide on my league starter and the build that I've been playing for the past 2 weeks ish for this league. Off and on, I did try some other characters, but this is the one I've stuck with. So this is a Spectral Helix Raider, and I'm just going to showcase it using this map. Right. Let's just see. Okay, let's just go with that. I'll quickly do the map and then we'll go over the gear. Just wanted to show some playstyle. Right now my internet's been really crappy. It's been spiking. Okay, so it plays a bit like Blade Vortex, to be honest. Like you cast and then you start running. You don't have to like sit there for the whole thing to like finish. Most of the time, like monsters will die when you like move away. Like for example, all the monsters over there are dead. So like as you can see, the your spirals like will kill stuff even after you like leave that place. So just going through here. I'm just gonna skip the expedition for now. Anyways, Rog, I don't really do it. I only do Tujan and Danik. Okay. This cannot leech life as a problematic map mod, but as you can see that we can still do it like without that mod because we are using claws. I don't have a corrupting blood jewel, so I have to like make sure to take that off as soon as possible. I'm just gonna leave the abyss. Okay. I think this is a Maven map where she's gonna be there, but let's just see. As you can see that sometimes my internet spikes, but since this is like a dodge evasion based cat, it's okay. I can play through lag. Oh my god, this is an enfeeble map. Oh, this is gonna suck. Okay, that is not good. So you want to stay as close to the boss as possible with Spectral Helix. Like I've tried different like ways of doing damage, and standing close to the boss is the best. And as you can see in an enfeeble map with Maven healing the boss, it was still pretty fast, right? I'm doing around 5 million Shaper DPS, even though it doesn't show that in POE, but it's around that much because your Spectral Helix can shotgun, it can hit multiple times, right? Okay, so that was the map. Okay, let's go back to town and have a quick look at the gear and the character. I have done basically everything on this character. I've done Maven, done Cirrus 8, Uber Elder, so pretty much complete deadly encounters. So I've already done the Uber Elder, the Maven, Cirrus at level 8. So this character can pretty much do everything, and only recently have I upgraded my gear. Before this I was running on like a 5x budget, but recently I've like made some upgrades to my gear, so I will go with them one by one, right? First thing is this is a claw based character, so I just crafted this claw myself, and it cost me around 3x to craft it, and you can buy something like this maybe not on a Gemini base, but on some other base for around 5x ish, right? Um, this one you can get the base for 1.5x with the enchant, and then I just crafted it with some essences. So like, if you don't I would still recommend going for the base even if you don't get the enchant. So if you're like in a when I was going in a budget mode, I didn't really care for the enchant, so I just got the base for like 10c, the blizzard crown, and just crafted with the essences. The shield is really crappy. It's life resists, and the important mod that you're looking for here is the chance to avoid ailments, right? Because as raider we get 50%, and this is another 18% on top of that. Boots, I just was looking for chance to avoid ailments, and the strength is not important. We are overcapped on strength. It just gives me some life, movement speed. Like this is like a 5c boot, less than that even. Belt, another life, resist, strength, LE damages attacks around 10c. I would say this one. Again, a very like basic gloves with accuracy, life, and resists around 10c again. This one is Mark of the Elder. I think you can get it for around 20c now, and with Catalyst it's around 25c. Divining could take you a bit, so this is not perfectly divined. It should you can reach like 95% increase attack damage. I have 86. This is like one of the best in slot items you can get for this build. Lots of flat added damage and attack damage modifiers. So yeah, it's pretty good. Around 40c for this. This one is an assassin mark ring. This one is pretty good because it also has reduced cost effect. And if you see my Pantheon choices, okay, right now I've got Soul of Rosada, but when I'm mapping I use Soul of Yugul, so I have 20% reduced curse effect. So with this and this I have like 60% reduced curse effect, so curses like really don't affect me in maps. I'm also LE weakness capped, so LE weakness I can just ignore. The only one which actually hurts is vulnerability, but yeah, most curses really don't do anything, so I'm not really hurt by the removal of the curse flask this patch. What else? Okay, so now the armor. Okay, this was self-crafted. I basically got a 6-link redeemer chest for 100c, and then I crafted frenzy on hit with alterations on that. It takes around 200 alts, and then I just bought a random attacks have crit chance chest from the trade for like 5c, and then it was I think so 10c. It was a elder base. If you get a hunter base, it's like 30c. But anyways, I just like slammed them with the awakener orb, which is around 4x, and so overall this armor cost me around 5x to craft. If you want to buy something like this, I think it might cost you around 10x ish. Let me just have a quick look. Mm, 14x is way too much for this, right? You can definitely craft it for less. 1.1. Let's see. 13x. Yeah, no, you can craft it for less. So definitely just go the crafting method. It'll cost you like 5x. And before this, I was actually, when I killed my first Cirrus, which was A5, I did it without this chest and with some normal crappy 6-link. Okay, quickly I'm gonna go with the main gems. So I'm using Spectral Helix, Nightblade. This is one of the best supports if you're using a claw or a dagger. Trinity, because I'm using my damage is spread between 3 elements. So you can see cold, lightning, and fire, and my Trinity is always up, so it's like the best support gem. Inspiration for reducing the mana cost and LE damage and crit chance, like best in slot basically. A weekend added lightning damage. You can just get added lightning damage level 20. This one is doing basically nothing because it's just level 1. But level 5, yes, it will give me some damage. LE damages attacks. Uh, Nothing really beats it for here, even though they reduce the more multiplier. You could use Awaken added cold, but sometimes that could mess up your Trinity because if you get too much cold damage, then you're not really swapping between elements. So I went with LE damages attacks. It's comparable to Awaken added cold, and if you get Awaken LE damages attacks, that's superior. For auras, you get Herald of Ice, Precision, Anger, and Lighten. I didn't get Enlighten till very recently. Till then, I was using a low level precision, like around level 12. Right now, I have 100% chance to hit, and at that time, it was like 98% chance to hit, which is like pretty okay. But like to reach 100%, you need some accuracy. Then you have the amulet. Actually, was pretty cool. I bought it. You can basically search for global crit multi and life and see like the highest you can get on search, and then for the anoint you can just use a tainted oil to anoint whatever you want. um, yep, so that's my equipment. I've got whirling braids, falsify, and culling strike. This is good for bosses. Some I use flame dash still to move around because whirling braids can like it desinks a lot, which I don't really like. I've got cast on dead portal, the softcore life, and I hate like running back in the map. Um, Again, let's go through the others. Uh, this one is just like spare links. You can put whatever you want over here. I've got wall lightning strike. It helps me with light. Um, and I just put added cold, added lightning, and then a separate portal gem so that I don't have to remove my cast on there and cast portal. I've got 2 portal gems. Convenience, because I've got so many gem slot sockets which nothing to do with, so that's why. So flame dash, it's level 15 because I only have 128 int. Steel skin, increased duration, and wild grace. Wild grace is really good for capping out your dodge for boss fights. Ancestral Protector gives a lot of damage. You always want to put it down when you're fighting bosses. And yep. Flask setup, I have Enduring Eternal Mana Flask. This one is just so that when you're like preloading on a boss, so that my mana doesn't deplete. But once the preload is done, I don't really need it. This flask. If I was gonna keep playing this character, I would replace it with Bottled Faith. And Diamond Flask also is useless right now because with Bottled Faith, I basically cap my crit. So right now, I'm using this to cap my crit to 100%. Phasing Flask, it's whatever. These are up to you, like what you want. I just have my Quicksilver Flask, and right now the only things, since I'm ailment immune, the only things I'm worried about are poison and bleed. So I've got it in as many places as I can. Yeah, so that was equipment, and let's just quickly go over stats. The passive tree, right? So it's a very basic passive tree, and getting life, crit, some more crit. I've anointed the claws of the falcon. This requires a golden oil, so it might be so in the beginning you can anoint this one. It's pretty cheap, claws of the bride, or even mark the prey because we have assassin's mark. They give pretty good damage, but this is basically the most damage you can get. um, Also, I have a cluster jewel. For the longest time I was not running it. Instead of cluster jewel, what you can do is you can just go up over here, pick this, pick these nodes, and pick these nodes and some life over here, right? But clusters do give you, your crit clusters are pretty good because they give you this node pressure points, which is chance to do double damage, crit chance pressure points. So this basically caps out your crit, these nodes, and they're really good for that. Also, wind up is really good because you get power charges, and so on my chest I have frenzy. Over here I have power charges, so that's like I have frenzy and power charges almost all the time. um, Martial prowess, devastator, like over here these two nodes doesn't really matter, you can pick whatever you want. Wind up is pretty good for claws. I have acro, phase acro, wind dancer. I've not taken point blank because I don't really know how it, like sometimes with spectral helix what can happen is that your things are moving, so the distance being traveled by your projectiles can be a lot if it like if you're not like standing right on the boss's face. So your damage can reduce significantly if you use point blank. So that's why I've skipped going that. Instead of that, I'm actually picking these nodes, which actually the further the projectile travels, it deals more damage. And prod speed is really good for spectral helix. So you want to focus on prod speed, and crit chance and crit multi as much as you can. All my jewels are basically life crit multi, single crit multi stat though. A double crit multi with life is like, and this one is for resistances. I don't have life over here. It's pretty good for damage wise. This one it's got attack speed also. So if you want to go really pepega full damage, you can just skip life and get double crit multi, attack speed everywhere on the jewels. So I've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 jewels lock sockets to customize whatever you want over there. Um, I have a Watcher's Eye with crit multi with anger. Um, this gives quite a lot of damage. It's around like 40 crit multi on a single jewel. It's got life also, so pretty much unbeatable. I need to divine it a bit so that I can hit 50 crit multi, but I'm too lazy. That's it, right? So I've just gone for life. You want to hit like around 5k life to not feel squishy this patch. Otherwise, mobs like I'm level 95, and it was a real struggle from 94 to 95 because I kept dying. So I went a bit more tanky. Um, I've taken as many frenzy charge nodes as I could, because I'm using a frenzy chest, and 6 frenzy charges is a lot of damage. It's like basically 24% more damage, which you wouldn't have had if you didn't take those stones. Yeah. For Ascendancy, quickly, I'm just gonna go over it. It's basically the onslaught tree on the raider, and out of the veil. You can go with the frenzy tree for more damage, but I just like the onslaught tree for like zoom. I want to move fast. With Quicksilver Flask, like I have 128% movement speed, which is pretty good. So even temp change maps don't feel too bad on this character. Yep, I think I've pretty much gone over everything, and yeah, pretty fun build to play. Uh, Pretty good map clear, pretty okay bossing, really good all rounder. So if you want to, play a character which can do all bosses and still be pretty good at mapping, I would recommend this character. It's really good. Alright, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.